Okay, good morning again. Because last video was interrupted, so I continue in this video about same title, same talk. It's happening now that every time I find this problem, I think Airtel is overloaded. They are interested in business, they are not interested in service, good service. I returned to them also, but I don't think I got some solution, some concrete response. They say, okay, we are working on that, and they will never give you. So only solution is every time you lose signals, you start another video with revised number. So this is same date, number is 1 and 298A. Civil field engineering, designs, construction methods, contracts, AnnexSL, whatever has same title, as well as with different approach and different work, you can say. It is analysis I was talking. Analysis, this is time, and that is also cost, risks, and I say opportunities as well. We can say in whatever way. Cost, analysis, method statements, quality, all this you can say. Quality, method statements, quality we have talked at length, and it's continuing because method statements also is a part of quality. And when say method statements, then it is very important, and that's analysis. I explained analysis. Analysis means is root of thinking, and you can say thinking is root of analysis, and both are roots to each other. If we think, we can analyze, and if we analyze, then we have to think. You understand what I mean? In both cases, we have to think. It's not so simple, and it's not also very difficult as well. If we think we can analyze, we should. And analysis is part of life. Analysis is part of energy setting. Every professional thinks, but in engineering, I think we only think. Even if we design, we think. Even we work practically, we think. Even if we write, we do research, wherever we do. Engineering, basics of engineering is thinking, analysis, which leads to comfort of time, cost, risks, opportunities, improvements. You can say there are so many factors which are having knowledge about our talk, methods, quality, and quality is always on top, because these all are parts of quality I am talking of. Analysis means it's not analysis of rates or analysis of something. It's a term, wide term, which includes everything. Analytical thinking, you can say. Analytical thinking means analyze, think, then again analyze, then think, analyze, think, analyze, think. Of course, every time you think, then you analyze, you will get more and more input. Again you do it, you will get more and more input. Output as well as input, because previous output becomes new input, and new input gives another input which is previous now. It's like that. You can refine your thoughts, and if you conduct this 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, and you continue like that, it is called analytical concentration. A concentration based on analysis, a concentration based on thinking, which we rarely recognize. We people do not recognize work of analysis and work of thinking. If you analyze, believe me, There is no limit. If you analyze something technically, managerially, you will find immense ways how to do a thing. I don't want to bind myself in something, but I should have then an alternative. Either it's mine or it comes from somewhere else. That's what thinking creates. Thinking is always on ground, but groundless and groundful, both ways. When you think, there's no ground, but when you think in relation to something, it has ground. And generally in engineering, we do not think groundless. We think with ground. Ground may be in our imagination. For example, if I want to create some building, some project, some town, some complex, and I have no land. Having no land does not stop me from thinking. I can say, I contemplate, I would do this, I want to do this way. That contemplation is very important. That contemplation, if I have, I can do a lot. That contemplation is very important point. I can do a lot in that. I can do a lot in that, and that lot is my lot. That lot is, you can create buildings, you can think buildings, you can think whatever you want. Buildings, I think, but there is no ground. No problem. I have decided that I want to make building like this. I have a dream in my mind, and that dream is nothing but contemplation. That dream is a vision. That dream is based on thinking. That dream based on analysis. That dream is based on method. That dream is based on quality, and on actually it is mental analysis and also mental production. This analysis gives further analysis, and when you use everything else, you think you can create time-based, cost-based, risks-based, and opportunity. If you want to promote your thought, you can say, okay, I have to improve life by constructing such building or such town. So that analysis gives you a rise, and if you have power, if you have resources, or somebody else allows you those resources, you can say, okay, I can buy land per law. I want to construct this project. That's called, it was groundless thinking one time, now it's got to groundful thinking. Availability of ground you have, and if everything goes fine, it serves, land use is available, or you can manage it, work on it, you can produce that. So your thinking capacity and multiple thinking capacity based on analytical capacity, your analytical thinking or your thinking analytically, both way you can say. You are thinking analytically or you are thinking of analytical thinking that has generated this project. That's what is required. So analysis doesn't mean just to check only. If I decide, okay, fine, I have to do this structure. I think of that structure for that building which I am going to construct. That structure, how I want to use, how best structure I can give. Means I want to use much area, and I don't want to see anything, any obstruction in between my view inside of that building. I want to see this building span clear. An idea comes to my mind, okay, whatever size, I want to use minimum internal obstructions and a clear space. So I have to think and analyze, can I use that much span for my frame? It may be say 20 meters. 15-meter span, 25-meter span, 30-meter span, or 5-meter span, or 3-meter span, according to requirement, according to economy, according to best of engineering. That's what we have to think. And if I say no, I can use largest span according to my requirement, according to my calculations, according to the stability of this building, its stability and its durability or its reliability. All that involves further analysis. Now it is work analysis. It's not contemporary analysis. Contemplation has given me work. My vision has given me work. I'm not saying employment, I'm saying work. It may be unpaid work for time being because I have to sell it later on. Now I have resources, I have to make it. This was sometimes vision analysis, it was sometimes contemporary analysis, or you can say think-based analysis. Analytical thinking it was, and now it's become work analysis. It's become project analysis. But analysis still continues. It goes with me and it will not end, because analysis at every stage, and analysis means thinking, and thinking means contemplation, and then work. My consideration is like that. I don't know, many of you may not agree, but I consider thinking, analysis are part of engineering. If you say no, I don't agree. You do theory of structures, you have studied applied mechanics, you have studied strength of material, you have studied designs. I think all these subjects. You have studied fluid mechanics, and you have studied many more subjects where analysis is involved. Every subject involves analysis, calculatory work. You have studied mathematics. Of course, that's not analytical, but it gives basis for analysis. So we have to consider it very well. That analysis is very important part of engineering. It may be structural analysis. It may be non-structural analysis. It can be synthetic analysis, means you have synthesized many results based on analysis, and you combine those results into one unit, one usable term. So that is, what you call it, application based on various analysis, and that application is a kind of synthetic, opposite to analysis, synthesized. You synthesize those results into some useful machine or useful operative. That's called, you can say, analysis based. Your analysis, many analysis you have conducted, and those analysis are joined to some machine or to some structure. You can say work durably, work safely or reliably. It's called product, and that product is further required to be later on, but we'll see. So what I say, analysis, thinking are wonderful friends of engineers, I should say, engineer or scientists. When you come to terms with analysis and further analysis and thinking, there remains no difference between an engineer and a scientist, because sometimes scientist and sometimes you are engineer, because engineer means you have to do that which you thought. Your contemporary world, your thinking world should change to practical production. That part is very important. We have to understand. That is called building part. Building doesn't mean building structure, it means building everything. That was building part that we have to take care of, that building part, and that building part is construction. That building part is construction, and that construction for which we stand, we live, we do everything for development of this world. That building part doesn't mean only construction part. That building part is also this analysis, and thinking part, which is, you can say, composition, which is, you can say, each unit of structure. For me, my analysis is structure. For me, my contemplation is structure. For me, my thinking is structure. As a professional, as an engineer, for me, all these are structural activities. I cannot say that I have to frame something, that's only structure. That's a resultant structure. But basis of my structure is analysis, thinking, analysis, contemplation. All these are my structures based on which I can group in, using them as opportunity and solving my risks on this basis. I can say I have reached this level of result there. I can call it my project destination. This means I am not doing anything directly. There are so many forces within me, within every professional. If you are really professional, if you are just not interested in Excel files for results, if you can think, I think sometime even your software may not be required to that extent. If you start thinking, analyzing, contemplation, you will find completely different world. And you shall find that you have become different type of engineer, not just what certification you have. You are a different engineer which can't be defined degree wise. You can't be defined degree wise means because you can think. And no university can teach you how to think. That's also true. Because thinking intensity can't be measured. There is no formula to measure your thinking power. Yes, you can measure electrical voltage, you can measure electrical current flow, you can measure fluid pressure, you can measure concrete pressure. There are defined formulas for that. You can measure, but as far as power of pressure of thinking is concerned, I think it's just the interest of human being to think. And it's not pressure actually, it is quality of yours. Sometimes you feel tired, sometimes you feel stressed, again you start thinking. Because that thinking gave you stress. But if you start thinking further, same thing, you will take back stress. And that's what we say. I was tired, but now because I am thinking a little, of course you might have taken half cup of tea, but it doesn't matter. Your thinking is your food. If you are habitual of thinking, I think you are a very different person. You will not confine your power of work, your power of performance to money only. Money is one part, but your focus. Yes, if you are in job and your opportunity, you can use your thinking skill, because thinking skill is naturally built in engineers. Thinking skills. Maybe they don't evaluate themselves like that, they don't find that, they can't search it, but without thinking, they can't even quantify, Forget creation of something. You have to quantify something, imaginary, from imaginary world. But you have to give quantity as a result of requirement. That dream world of engineering, thinking, engineering analysis, all have converged to different world. And that's world of quantity, which is based only on thinking, only on drawing the information. And you can do only by concentration, because you cannot remember everything every time. Take off. So take off analysis it is. We have information on drawings, but you are taking off from them. And taking off itself is very big subject. Taking off itself requires science and engineering. It requires contemplation, it requires concentration. Because if you don't concentrate, maybe same item you take again and again, same bill of quantity, which can change everything. So my point of view is that do not run away from thinking and do not run away from analysis, because contemplation analysis, engineering are your own words, just like analysis happens. I'm finding that these days analysis process, analysis absent from everywhere. Nobody tries to analyze. I'm not finding even 2-3% people interested in analysis. They are only interested in use of products, pay money and use it, and that's all. So thinking gives generation to sciences, generation to formulas. Thinking gives something to change, and thinking is really very important part of our life. I should not waste time on every time explaining about thinking or analysis, but because analysis is is heart of engineering, analysis is legs of engineering, analysis is mind of engineering. Engineering, which itself says this is title, engineer is very intelligent title because of its translation. The person who is having engineering mind is intellectual, is genius, you can say, and that genius can do wonders. If proper platform is allowed, proper destination is allowed, proper opportunities are allowed to be used, opportunities converted from risks, all these must be cared for. Engineer, which is, product of science, engineer which is product of heavy subjects. Heavy means those subjects which are going to take someone to produce. Engineering is that. It's not stories or poetries, it's not art, it's something that is very risky, because engineering is a very responsible profession, because you are going to include in the works wealth and wealth. You are going to use wealth and you are going to create wealth, because whatever wealth you create for doing this has to be included in taking back. So I have to understand this point very closely. Being an engineer, I can't take it for granted. Engineer is not only quantity survey, engineer is not only designs, engineer is not only site work, engineer is intellectual thinking work. That's why we call it intelligence. Engineering means intelligent, means thinking, means innovative, means analysis. And analysis is the root of everything. And if you start analysis, nobody can beat you, I can say. Beat in the sense that if you have mind, that's why you are in engineering. If you don't have mind, better you don't come to engineering. Engineering means mind, calculation mind, application mind, thinking mind, processing mind, consideration mind, evolution mind, means real mind. I say you have to be constructor, you have to be demolisher, you have to be maintainer. I think there is nothing. You have to be a coordinator, you have to be a communicator, or you have to be a geologist, you have to be a civil engineer, you have to be electrical engineer, you have to be mechanical engineer. You have a lot of responsibility in engineering. It's not just one subject you will follow, no. Yes, you study whatever you want, that doesn't matter. But where you want to deliver your services, that's more important. Analysis and thinking are together, nobody can deny that. So our titles which you are working on, we say quality is our title, which is everywhere. No one can change it. I cannot change quality or required quality. And even if it's not mentioned, it's not written, we know what quality is about our discipline. We know what's quality of machines. We know what's quality of performance of all others. The points very important. Then how to achieve that using our thinking capacity, using our observing capacity, and using our defined, specified capacity. And then involved are with that analysis also there. Of course, time is there, and then you can say cost is there, then risks are there, and then opportunities are there, and improvements are there. And you can say plan, do, spelling of mistakes, plan, sorry for that, plan, do, improve, that's required. I'll correct that later on. So, my dear friends, quality, if you start thinking of, quality is not a simple word. It's a word that needs commitment from everybody. But our institution doesn't define that. Now, point comes in about thinking, and if I'm busy in thinking, you think so. If you're busy in thinking, other points to come in mind after all. Thinking cannot be exclusive. Okay, then I say quality. Quality again, it's something wonderful if you take it from that point of view. Quality overall, it's not quality control only, it's organization control, it's project control, it's legal control. All those points count. You cannot simply say I have closed it. I have closed doors of quality because it's been promoted as part of system. Quality, which is very biggest part of engineering, and as I said in some of my papers, yeah, the buildings, and also in this methods, buildings and methods, that is, just PDF file, yes, this stocking of methods, and we talked of at length. I think we were somewhere in 60 or more, somewhere, I don't know where across. Excavation crossings, and we are talking like this. Somewhere crossings, somewhere we are here. Let us say crossing. Let me see. Black to prepare done. We have done black top repair. Fire water line excavation around. Consider. Okay, let's concentrate on this now. Let's concentration on this. Fire water line excavation down consumer citizen. We will be clear that whatever I'm going to discuss is, first of all, it's very old, and I did all this in my career. I'm just sharing with you some information. It's nothing to do with something else, only for sample purpose. I'm showing you all this. There's no claim on this. It's just that what I learned is too old, and it's now technology may be different, of course. Yet we can say something is known. It's better if you review it. It's fire water, say, it's excavation around consumer station. You can say any plant, whatever plant you see, there's some consumer area, and we are from a consumer services, and I showed to you on that plan. There's nothing new in that. I can show you again if there's need as such, This need as such, I think sketch 20 it was. If I have that sketch 20, I'll show. I don't know whether we have not done excavation safety, methods index, sketch 18, sketch 20, I think is that one. So it gives you I think you see in this that here consumer receipt have administration building area, and there's something here which you say calling consumer receipt. So this is area I'm talking of, consumer receipt. If you see this consumer receipt, you will be able to understand what I'm talking of. And let's say it's not able to stop sometime. What's happening is, I don't know. Let me close this. It's unnecessary stopping my way. So let's close it, and you'll find. Let's see. There is. So fire water line here, excavation around consumer station, and index is same. That scope means scope is proposed procedures to be adopted to carry out excavation for fire water lines to be laid by EPC contractor around consumer station. That's this is title. Now method statement for part of road crossing is separate. So with that, don't worry about that. Documents are specification, pertinent excavation and backfill for underground installation and interconnects, underground layout, drainage sheet, etc. This is a system of quality that we prepare method statements, and method statements limits your scope at that time because you are from available knowledge we assemble them, method statements. Side, but in same local area where you live in or somewhere else, you need to go to state to state just to have some knowledge about that. So this is quality involvement here. I can say this quality involvement. Without quality, it's not going to work. This quality involvement, I should say, and whatever underground layout drawing sheets we should have, that that's a part of description in method statement. Of course, we have responsibilities, so we don't repeat again and again. We have safety systems, we have safety methods. We had a chance to talk yesterday. We could not complete that. Before going further, we should like to impact on them, think of them. I think it's better to talk of them. If I can open method statement 13 and 12, which I had yesterday, let me see if I can open directly. If I can open them directly, I will do it 13 and 12. And I think 12 I was doing execution safety, and also 13 we are doing execution safety. So let us see if I can something do on that. Because 12 and now it's 13. That's here. Then in that case I should close something else. Let us close this, talk of quality. Not quality alone, we should close this. Talk of buildings better, I think buildings. I'm not in discussion now. Not going to discuss building, let me close this. Execution crossing, and I think excavation safety and control stories. We were talking yesterday about this. I could not complete this yesterday. So let us see. We had some, I think fourth page I was talking of, right? Maybe it was not complete because of this failure on computer, I think. It applies to activities, operations to be carried out at construction sites, inclusive of construction, commissioning, and operational startup activities. Purpose is different. How we receive purpose, what purpose it is. Purpose may be different. Purpose may be different, and that's this much. Then say 175. Put it down. It's that to establish a procedure. To establish a procedure for systematically identifying and handling all hazardous materials associated with project, and to implement appropriate all required preventive control measures. No chance should be taken in this regard. Hazards can amount to incalculable losses. So now what we say, we have to systematically identifying and handling all. Now it comes up in a way that implement appropriate all required preventive control measures, and no chance should be taken into disregard. Hazards can amount to incalculable losses. That's the main point. Hazards can lead to, say, we have many definitions which you should read first. If you want to know something here, you can take your time to read this definition as they are required. You should have this knowledge. So here is what is this. You can say, I hope, read them for 10 minutes because it's important. Hours, 4 hours, 2 hours, 5 minutes you should take for your own self-reading, and then we'll discuss. Self-reading is sometimes more important because my tongue, my accent may not give you what you expect, and self-reading is of course very important part. And back in 5 minutes, just all of this. My walking is in front almost. No, I'm still in here now. What in here now? I'm sitting. They must have gone through this. Safety means safety, health, environment, disciplines, support, project activities. Project activities. Company means organization and contractor, subcontractor. You have gone through this. It's all good for you. Then responsibilities are there. EPC contractor and all that are defined. Introduction is there. Then instructions. What are these? Let's see. Something different. EPC contractors, subcontractors shall certainly conform. Certain shall conform. We shall certainly conform. You can say. That's the working properly. Say that. There's something I think problematic here. I think. What's problematic? I don't know. Great. Why is dumping today? I don't know why he's doing this nonsense. This is something nonsense. So I start again it's jumping. What's the reason behind it? I don't know reason. It's playing today. Why? So it's doing this. It's what actually was missed. So it's done. Sorry. We were somewhere here, I think. Yeah, we were talking of job hazards actually. That was point in safety. And definitions, this was actually, there was some error in that. I could not get it, Safety, we talked of it, and then responsibilities and benching, yes. Computing person, excavation, hazardous atmosphere, this is very important. Hazardous atmosphere here, this was recommend. Hazardous atmosphere, that's what. What was hazardous atmosphere? We conferred on yesterday, and this was important part, an atmosphere which by reason of being explosive, flammable, explosive, number one, it is explosive, then the may cause death. Works. If you see, we conduct analysis of this. We conduct analysis of this. We can say that it's really, I can say that it's number one is explosive, explode, an atmosphere that is created to explode. Impacts on your risk, it impacts on your eyes, it impacts on your respiration, it impacts on your working. It doesn't give you any pleasure to work in, despite in addition being explosive and flammable and poisonous. So there's little oxygen in that, oxygen deficiency you can say, and it is toxic or otherwise very harmful. In oil refineries, brownfield projects, generally foregoing factors, these explained factors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 factors, which include explosion, flame, poison, corrosion, oxidation, irritation, deficiency of oxygen, toxic or otherwise harmful. These factors, these factors or conditions are available in atmosphere surrounding that facility, and you know due to operations and post operational effects, you see when ionization happens in air, in skies, condensation volumes, condensation nuclei of water, ice, air. Ionization happens when you say loss of electrons or gains of electrons, electronic activity. We may not notice, but it happens. It happens in weather and vapor gas existence in atmosphere. Fire can break out. Fire can break out, and other explosive effects can lead to destruction of buildings, plants, equipment, and various losses can result in. There are buildings on every plant, there are plants, there are processing trains, there are various equipment, all types. personnel from caving in such excavations on system. We're talking of excavation, it can be impacted on by that in that plant area. In-depth work we do, so it is sloping one and benches must be there. Shield system and other systems that provide protection from various obvious consequences from falls into excavations, or excavations may fall on workers both ways. Protection system must be defined and should be with you somewhere time, and that risk factors while amounting while value on risk factors, those risks should be minimized. How to do that, that's another part. Then there's question of responsibilities, means who is responsible. Now EPC contractor, site organizer, leader is responsible for ensuring that requirement of this procedure are adhered to by all workers, including that of subcontractors and whoever is present on site, and until excavation is reached to its formation level and works of foundation commence. Works on foundations commence with EPC contractor site manager should not withdraw. EPC contractor site in charge should not withdraw intensive attention means from excavation activity until excavation is over and foundation works start, and in fact to very frank, until works come out to ground level should consent. Must arrange all resources necessary to protect accidents during excavation progress and post excavation completion to avoid collapses. That site leader shall be responsible, is responsible for effective communications and adherence to this procedure by all persons, all contractors, organizations, and assign responsibility to a competent person who must be a civil engineer in whatever capacity for implementing this procedure. EPC contractor in charge shall, I'm speaking in charge, which you can consider site manager, you can consider site leader, you can consider whatever. EPC contractors, site in charge, shall provide competent person with all information to be affected on site. Competent person should be responsible, shall be responsible for planning and monitoring work appropriate to this procedure. EPC contractor manage out in a timely fashion. Safety engineer or inspect shall frequently supervise excavation activity to ensure that railing, ladders, traffic diversions, dewatering systems are all well provided. Now, let us go to instructions. Owner or engineer or client who serves other relevant organizations, authorities, may be present and issue an excavation overhead power transmission. Lines must be de work activity What I said, notification that it is applicable must be public requirements in existing operating prior to start excavation.